when you're talking about GOATs of the W, I need my name to be up there, at least top 3. Like, that's my goal, is like, I want something like, when you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my...
Forbes just dropped their 2025 list of the most powerful women in sports, and it's no surprise who's dominating near the top. Caitlin Clark isn't just listed, she's the highest ranked athlete, claiming the number 4 spot. She's taken an $8.1 million season and transformed it into a total game changer for how female athletes can earn and influence the sport. But here's where it gets intense. Aja Wilson, sitting at number 15, has reacted in a way that feels completely unhinged. This seems to be the latest chapter in a growing pattern of envy, one that started with Clark's Nike deal and now appears to have reached a full-blown boiling point.
Envy. They're human. I'm not surprised that we're seeing envy, but envy, a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. With Caitlin Clark, it's not at all luck. But what we're seeing, and not generalizing, not by every WNBA player, but...
The stats don't lie. And neither do Aja Wilson's very public reactions. But before we dive into the numbers, here's a question for you. Why do you think Wilson seems so envious of Caitlin Clark? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now, let's break down the money. The typical WNBA rookie leaves their first season with around $60,000, a figure that suddenly looks tiny next to what Clark is making.
Clark has been named Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. This is a big-time accomplishment for the young rookie already. Bro, Caitlin Clark has been breaking records, setting records.
Caitlin Clark pulled in a staggering $8.1 million. Yes, you read that right. Numbers like these have even seasoned players questioning everything they thought they knew about the earning limits in women's basketball. Her actual WNBA salary? Almost nothing compared to the deals happening off the court. For context, the league minimum for rookies hovers around $64,000, and Clark's base pay wasn't much higher. But here's where it really gets insane.
Takes like whatever it needs to get there, whether it's the rings, whether it's the accolades individually, like I want to be up there in that category.
Now, you on your way. Being a champion already, only 26. Y'all got firepower now, MVP 2 times.
While most rookies were budgeting for groceries and splitting rent, Caitlin Clark was in boardrooms sealing deals worth more than the value of entire franchises. Her Nike contract set the stage for everything that followed. 8 years, $28 million guaranteed. That single deal catapulted Clark into uncharted territory. No WNBA player had ever come close. Most league veterans have never seen an endorsement even remotely near that level. Clark secured generational wealth before her very first professional game even tipped off.
For anybody in the NBA under the age of 30, that's a bigger name, bigger jaw, bigger star than Caitlin Clark. That is a genuine, serious question. Anthony Edwards, no. Shea, no. Jason Tatum, no. Jaylen Brown, nope. Luka, nah. Victor Wembanyama.
But Nike was just the tip of the iceberg. Next up, Gatorade. This deal instantly placed Caitlin Clark in the upper echelon reserved for the absolute elite, the same league as LeBron James and Serena Williams. No WNBA player had ever reached that level of corporate recognition before. Gatorade doesn't partner with just anyone. They invest in athletes who can sell products and influence culture. Then came Wilson Sporting Goods, adding yet another layer to Clark's growing empire. This wasn't just any endorsement, it made her the face of basketballs and equipment across major sports retailers, a milestone unseen since Michael Jordan. Every time someone steps into a sporting goods store and spots Clark on the displays, that's revenue streaming straight into her pocket.
Caitlin Clark arguably is the most popular basketball player, men or women's, in the world right now.
Look what she did for women's collegiate basketball. I mean,
Speaking engagements quickly became another massive revenue stream, leaving other players in awe. Caitlin Clark began commanding appearance fees for corporate events and conferences that outpaced what many WNBA athletes make in an entire season. But companies weren't just paying for her basketball skills. They were investing in her star power, her ability to draw crowds, and the buzz she could create around any event. And the numbers back it up. Games featuring Clark saw viewership soar by an astonishing 400% compared to typical WNBA broadcasts, proving that her influence extends far beyond the court.
$100,000. Shortly after Clark's news started trending, a fan posted a screenshot of an article claiming that the regaining WNBA MVP charged $110,000 for her speech.
Networks began competing fiercely for the rights to broadcast Fever games, while advertisers scrambled to secure commercial spots during Clark's appearances. Revenue streams that were previously unheard of in women's basketball suddenly became major profit engines. Stadiums followed the trend. Cities hosting Fever games experienced ticket sales surging like never before. Merchandise flew off the shelves, and local businesses near arenas reported noticeable spikes in foot traffic on game days. Caitlin Clark wasn't just playing basketball, she was fueling entire local economies. Her social media presence only amplified her impact. Millions of followers engaged with every post, delivering advertising reach that traditional sports marketing rarely achieves. Brands quickly realized Clark could connect with audiences who had never paid attention to women's basketball before, opening doors to entirely new markets.
I feel none of the pressure though. No bullshit. You on like some LeBron shit with what you accomplished at such an early age. You're on pace to really break a ton of records. No pressure.
Forbes' ranking as the top-earning basketball player highlighted the financial gap like never before. Caitlin Clark's $8.1 million far outpaced the next closest player, Sabrina Ionescu, who earned $6.3 million. That gap shows just how much brands were willing to invest in Clark's rare blend of talent and marketability. Corporate America saw what basketball fans had already known. Clark possesses a unique, almost untouchable quality. Her influence goes beyond the court, attracting new audiences to the sport while earning the admiration and respect of longtime fans. No player before her had ever reached this level of impact.
A'ja Wilson on pace for the greatest WNBA season ever.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Clark's financial triumph proved that female athletes could command massive earnings when they combine elite performance with undeniable personality. She didn't just shatter earning records, she completely redefined what's possible for women's basketball in terms of marketability and commercial influence. Some veteran players watched her rise with growing frustration, revealing how threatened they felt by her success. A'ja Wilson's resentment didn't materialize overnight. It's been simmering for months, bubbling to the surface through pointed social media posts and interviews that make her feelings about Clark's meteoric ascent unmistakably clear.
Caitlin Clark has been named Time Athlete of the Year, which you can see right here. This is the cover of the Time magazine for her after she took the WNBA by storm, had a phenomenal rookie season. The league, for the first time ever, is relevant. She was selling out NBA arenas across the country.
The pattern began early and has only intensified as Clark's star continued to rise. The first crack in A'ja Wilson's composure appeared with the announcement of Clark's Nike deal. While Clark was celebrating her historic contract, Wilson took to social media, posting questions about why rookies were receiving opportunities that veterans had spent years earning. She never called Clark out directly, but the timing left little doubt about who she was targeting. Wilson even dug up old photos of herself with Nike executives, subtly reminding everyone that she too had brand connections. What started as a quiet jab soon escalated into a much more obvious display of resentment over the following weeks.
Her play, she's incredible. She's got range that you have to pick her up basically as soon as she crosses the half court line, because she's dangerous from everywhere. Like you're watching shooting against her, like Caitlin Clark's going to be in that conversation here for years. Not like that girl can flat out shoot. So
and she doesn't. And this is taking nothing away from the way women shoot a basketball, but her form looks more like a guy. Where it's more of a pull-up and a follow-through rather than a push. And I honestly think that's one of the reasons she's so successful.
Wilson began posting daily content highlighting veteran achievements, the importance of paying dues, and the expectations placed on newcomers. Each update felt like a pointed reaction to the non-stop coverage of Clark dominating the headlines. Her Instagram stories quickly became a running commentary on media hype and what she implied was undeserved attention. The I Have a Shoe Too campaign emerged as her most desperate effort to reclaim the spotlight. She started sharing photos of her Nike signature shoe from every possible angle, tagging Nike while emphasizing veteran loyalty and long-term partnerships. Wilson even began posting throwbacks from her shoe launch events, something she had rarely done before, making it clear she was determined to remind everyone of her own accomplishments.
Think of too many athletes in any sport that have had a more successful rookie year season than Caitlin Clark. Like, really. So she was the runaway rookie of the year, and then she's just been issued Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year. I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't think people realize how big a Time Magazine award is, and definitely when you're the Athlete of the Year for Time Magazine.
Time Magazine naming Caitlin Clark Athlete of the Year seemed to push A'ja Wilson past her breaking point. Her congratulations post was limited to a single sentence, completely devoid of personal excitement or genuine enthusiasm. Contrast that with the lengthy celebratory posts she usually shares when other players earn awards. Wilson's social media history shows she normally goes all out to support her peers, which made her muted reaction to Clark stand out even more. The timing couldn't have been worse. Her own Nike signature shoe was struggling to sell, while Clark's endorsements were dominating every headline in sports business.
A'ja Wilson unanimously wins the WNBA MVP award. Wilson received all 67 first place votes from a national media panel, making her a 3-time award winner. She won in 2020 and 2022. She's the 4th player in WNBA history to reach that milestone, joining Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, and Lauren Jackson.
Retail data made the contrast impossible to ignore. Wilson's shoes were lingering on shelves, while anything tied to Caitlin Clark sold out instantly. The comparison between Wilson's established but stagnant brand and Clark's skyrocketing market appeal was unavoidable. Jealousy over speaking engagements became clear when Wilson started posting about her appearance fees for the very first time. She shared backstage photos from corporate events and highlighted her bookings in ways that felt awkward and out of character. For years, Wilson had done corporate appearances quietly without flaunting them online, but Clark's high-profile deals suddenly made her feel the need to broadcast her own. Gradually, Wilson's social media posts shifted into questioning Clark's real influence on the sport, signaling just how threatened she felt by Clark's meteoric rise.
Just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to.
Wilson began posting stats about veteran scoring records, long-standing WNBA viewership, and contributions from established players, posts that felt like thinly veiled responses to the non-stop coverage of Caitlin Clark. She started using phrases like real impact and sustained excellence in ways that seemed deliberately aimed at downplaying Clark's accomplishments. As the season went on, her comments about media attention grew sharper. Wilson made subtle digs about hype versus substance and stressed the need to prove yourself over time. These weren't neutral observations about the league. Her timing and choice of words made it clear she was reacting to Clark's rapid rise. This wasn't about basketball performance or team success. Wilson's frustration came from watching someone else become the face of women's basketball almost overnight. After years of building her brand and establishing herself as a league cornerstone, she suddenly found herself overshadowed by Clark in mere months. Her passive-aggressive social media posts, lukewarm public support, and pointed remarks about hype all reveal a veteran player struggling to share the spotlight with someone more talented and marketable. Wilson's behavior exposes a deep discomfort with the change and progress that Clark represents in the sport.
Just don't want to not utilize this opportunity to thank Caitlin for what she's done for women's basketball. Like, her shoulders were heavy and getting a lot of eyeballs on our game, and sometimes as a young person it could be a bit much, but I thought she handled it with class, and I hope that every step of the ladder of success that she goes, she's able to elevate whatever.
The Forbes ranking announcement became the tipping point where Wilson's jealousy spilled into the open. Months of subtle social media digs and passive-aggressive posts all came to a head, revealing her true feelings about Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise. Forbes doesn't play around when naming the most powerful women in sports. Their methodology digs into the metrics that really matter: earnings, social media reach, endorsement value, and cultural influence across 5 major sectors. Clark dominated in every category, leaving competitors scrambling to catch up. As one analyst put it, Caitlin Clark is a generational talent. She's gonna do incredible things. You're the #1 pick. People are gonna go after you. That sentiment captures the dual reality of her her rise. Undeniable talent and unavoidable attention. Forbes' ranking uses a weighted formula that emphasizes financial control and overall influence in sports. They analyze team valuations, corporate revenues, media mentions, and social media engagement. Clark's numbers across the board painted a picture of dominance no one could ignore. She landed at number 4 on the overall list, making her the highest ranked athlete among all women included. Clark outperformed tennis legends who have spent decades building their brands and surpassed Olympic champions with years of global recognition. In a single year, she achieved what most athletes spend entire careers chasing. Her social media reach amplified her influence even further. While raw follower counts tell one story, engagement rates revealed true impact. Clark's posts consistently drove interactions that translated directly into marketing value brands couldn't get anywhere else. Even more impressive was her cultural footprint. Forbes metrics showed that Clark's influence extended beyond basketball, capturing the attention of fans across multiple sports and demographics. She wasn't just performing on the court, she was reshaping the landscape of women's sports.
I think the WNBA narrative right now is Caitlin Clark, and I think that's a good narrative, but it's also not the only narrative. Caitlin is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things. You're the #1 pick. People are going to go after.
Caitlin Clark has brought entirely new audiences to women's basketball. Families who had never tuned in became regular viewers. Young girls picked up basketballs inspired by her. Corporate executives who once ignored women's sports suddenly saw untapped profit potential. Forbes specifically highlighted Clark's ability to generate revenue far beyond her own salary. Cities hosting Fever games experienced ticket sales surges, increased tourism, and higher local business revenue on game days. Broadcast networks began bidding aggressively for the rights to air her games. Wherever Clark played, she created economic ripple effects across entire communities. Her influence even crossed into other sports. Clark participated in Pro-Am golf tournaments that drew mainstream media attention and saw her featured across sports networks at multiple events. This multi-sport recognition is something Aja Wilson has never achieved. Despite years of trying to expand her brand, Clark's diverse endorsement portfolio set her apart from athletes who focus solely on one sport. Major brands like Nike, Gatorade, and Wilson approached her with strategies designed to reach audiences far beyond traditional basketball fans. Clark's $8.1 million in annual income marked a major shift in how female athletes are valued professionally. Forbes highlighted this as evidence of her growing influence and marketability. Her earnings reflect more than personal success. They demonstrate what's possible when elite talent meets the right marketing and cultural moment. In just 12 months, Clark established herself as the most powerful figure in women's sports, surpassing nationally recognized athletes who have spent years building their careers. Forbes validated what fans already knew. Clark's impact on the game and culture is unprecedented. Following her Time Magazine Athlete of the Year and Associated Female Athlete of the Year honors, mainstream recognition of her influence reached levels no WNBA player had ever achieved. In 2024 alone, Clark accounted for 26.5% of the WNBA's total economic activity while securing endorsements that cemented her growing role in sports business. Meanwhile, Wilson's reaction to Forbes naming Clark the most powerful female athlete revealed everything about her mindset and the toxic jealousy she brings to the league. Clark's success proves that raw talent combined with genuine personality creates unstoppable momentum. Wilson's jealous outbursts show exactly what happens when established players feel their status slipping away. The numbers don't lie, Clark is the player driving revenue and cultural impact in women's basketball today. The 2026 season is everything Fever fans have been waiting for, a chance to witness the foundation of a dynasty built around a player who transcends the sport entirely. Clark's influence stretches far beyond the court into boardrooms and living rooms across America. Wilson can continue posting passive-aggressive content and throwing public tantrums, but Clark has already reshaped what female athletes can achieve financially and culturally. Why do you think Wilson is so jealous of Caitlin? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Click the video on the screen and we'll see you in the next one.